we're still the people who love to travel. We don't want to settle down. We don't want to stay put. We don't want to just never move again. It's just, what happened was, I made an unintentional mistake.
And I hear this horrible noise. He's like, what are you doing? Stuff started moving on the floor.
They're hoping not to find MS. They're hoping not to find a tumor. So those two things are hopefully going to determine what's wrong with me. So if you've ever owned an RV, or even if you know somebody who owns an RV, or ever has, you know there's one thing that every single RV has in common. Do you know what it is? Every single RV has something that needs to be fixed. So today's our day. We're fixing something else. And this time it's this big old drawer. Here's the stove. Kitchen's a little bit dirty. We live in it, so that's okay. Here's the 3 stack of drawers. We usually keep pots and pans in this one because yes, it's meant for that. But here's what happened. All right, so you see this side. Do you see this little metal thing coming up? That's a ball bearing strip. Now, what is it actually called? I have no idea. But it has ball bearings in it, and it's a strip, so that's what I call it. So those are coming out, which if I knew how to assemble these things, I would just reassemble it. But I don't think that's the only problem. We also have this. This is part of the latch. You see? Look. It goes like that. This latch came out from in here. The screws stripped the hole, see? It came out. So now I'm gonna have to move this over and move the corresponding part on here over, which isn't a big deal at all. But these rails, the glides, what are they called? Slides, drawer slides. These things have got to go. So I'm wearing gloves because these drawer slides tend to be a little bit greasy, which is on purpose. So I got gloves, I'll use them. All right, that's one side. And now look at this side. Do you see this ball bearing strip right here? These are coming out, and we've already lost a couple more of these. It's just time. It's time to go. So we're gonna replace these, and hopefully, this will be an easy process. You know, with us, we're the kind of people who put together furniture and have extra parts, or something's upside down. So it's always an adventure around here. So let's just see. I measured as best I could, and then I called Grand Design, because we have a Grand Design, and they said, you need the 18-inch. And so even though that's not what my measurement said, I said, okay, 18-inch it is. So that's what we're going with.
And another reason we're going ahead and fixing it today while we're kind of in an RV park for a month or two is the RV really can't move unless its drawer is secured, because it'll come out and slam into our island and stuff. So
yeah. So here's something. I know this will shock you. RVs aren't made like regular spaces. All right, I don't know if you can see this, but this is supposed to fit into this end piece. You see this metal piece right here, folks? It's supposed to fit into it. Why? Because Grand Design made this, or they didn't actually make this. Whoever made these cabinets didn't make it like a house cabinet. And I know you're saying it's not an RV, man. It's not a house, it's an RV. Well, I know that, but that doesn't mean it can't be made better. Look, this is so cavernous that this, which is the proper length, does not reach to the end. And there's no wood here that I can drill it into on the side. There are holes in this railing that I'm supposed to be able to drill this way and into the wood. This is like 1/8 of an inch thick, and it's too far away. So you need one of these end pieces, but that end piece only fits exactly the size rail that you get from Grand Design, and you only get that from Grand Design as far as I know. So we've either got to be clever, and I'm thinking about putting some wood on the side in order to screw the railing into, or we got to find that end cap from like a Home Depot or a Lowe's that fits this. So I wanted to take it easy today, but no, we don't get to take it easy. We have to go to the hardware store,
which
is like 45 minutes away.
Our hardware store is closed today. It's a Sunday, so.
So Home Depot or Lowe's is like 45 minutes away. So that's going to be our day. So obviously this is a different day. I mean, you can tell that, right? I don't think I'm wearing the same stuff. So here's what happened. Usually when we film this kind of thing, it's usually short and smooth, and we try to film it in one coherent setting. So it makes sense, one continuous timeline. But what happened was I made an unintentional mistake. So this is the original drawer slide, drawer glide, I don't remember what they're called, that goes in the cabinet, the drawer cabinet itself. It's 18 inches. This is the one that I ordered from Amazon. It's also 18 inches. I got that part right. But what do you notice? This one is thicker, right? See how thick that is? See how wide that is? And here's the original. In fact, Sean can show you right down here. Here's the one from Amazon, and here's the original. This is wider. Why is that important? All right, do you all see this right here? This metal bracket, this backstop? I need to stick the end of it into this, kind of like it is over here. This is the way it's eventually going to look. But this only fits the original size. Even though the new one is 18 inches, it's too wide, it's too big. So the blessing in all this is that Grand Design, because we do have a Grand Design, still stocks the original parts. So we, a few days later, or however long later this is, honestly don't know at this point, we got this in. And this is the original for one side, the right side I'll call it, and the left side. It's really easy to install. It's just one screw. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, look, see, it fits in here like a glove. You need to put a little bit of pressure on it, but that fits very, very well. All right, this is where the rubber meets the road. This was not easy, but I got this moved over. I've only got one screw in here in case I messed it up. I'm not gonna say screwed it up. That'd be a horrible pun. In case I messed it up, so we shall see. It should. It looks like it meets up. Yep. Perfect. Now I just got to put in the other screw and we're all done. See how much it helps when you have the right parts. I mean, this is for like 100 something odd pounds. The ones that come from Grand Design are for like 75 pounds. So that's why this is wider. So now it works. Stick with the original parts. Sometimes we try to upgrade if we can. This time I wasn't able to figure it out. So joyfully, Grand Design had the original part. This is a 2021. We're in 2025 and they still have it. I don't know if they're still using them, but they still have them. So thank God everything's good and easy fix, turned, moderately difficult, done.
Alright, me and Matthew are wearing green in honor of
St. Patrick's Day. Hooray!
No! We're wearing green in honor of our last day on the Whole 30.
Huh? Alright, that might take some explanation. First, before she tells me what in the world these things have to do with each other, the Whole 30, if you don't remember, is just an anti-inflammatory diet. It's not a big weight loss thing. We just went on it because it has some health benefits, and we figured, why not? I have a bunch of health problems anyways right now. Let's do whatever we can to just feel better. And we're on the last blessed day, finally. So what in the world in God's creation does green have to do with that?
Well, it doesn't, but
that's what I figured.
St. Patty's, in fact, he made a little calendar notification on our phones. Our phones both went off. And I'm like, oh no, what did we miss? Because we have these appointments that on the phone that go off that remind us of when we need to go somewhere. And Matthew made a notation of when our last day for the Whole 30 was going to be. And so with it being the last day, all of this wonderful food that you eat, like breads and dairy and ice creams and just stuff like that, you have to eliminate. Well, starting tomorrow, day 1 is the first day that we get to bring back one food group at a time, and you get to choose whichever one it is. And so tomorrow we're like, why don't we bring back bread, which is gluten,
not just any gluten, tasty gluten.
And we decided to go hog wild and just go straight for the King's Hawaiian.
It has a lovely tropical taste to it. If you've never had it, it kind of melts in your mouth. It's just amazing stuff.
And speaking of St. Patty's Day, I mean, did I bring it up, or did you brought it up? So he dated the video.
She said that I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong. It has nothing to do with the whole 30, St. Patty's Day.
I wasn't going to date the video, but since I dated the video, y'all know we are so far behind in our videos. But if you want more up-to-date information, I mean like week up-to-date
Spoiler alerts.
Become a BDR insider.
We have a growing community on BDR insiders, and honestly, when it comes to my medical updates, when it comes to any of the big important stuff, we're contacting them and we're telling them about it. They're praying for us about stuff. So that's what we got going on with them, and we'd love for you to be part of it.
Right. They know about all of our quirkiness. They know about how we survived off the diet. They're going to know if we survived the gluten intake, if it affected us, or if we had any bad repercussions. Did we wind up going on a Chick-fil-A date on Friday? They'll know. I don't know. So, because he's got a couple of doctor's appointments on Friday, and we're finally going to be off the diet. And I'm like, okay, maybe Chick-fil-A.
We'll be off the diet, and these are very, very, very important medical appointments that I have. I'm very much looking forward to this. Well, it turns out I do have a brain, contrary to popular opinion. Specifically, what I just do, I got an MRI of the brain and I got an MRI of the neck. So those two things are hopefully going to determine what's wrong with me, what's wrong with my arm. They're hoping not to find MS. They're hoping not to find a tumor. They're hoping not to find any of that stuff, which would be the brain scan. If they have to find something, because obviously something's causing this, we're hoping to find like a pinched nerve or compressed nerve back in the neck or something. Obviously nobody wants to have that, but darn it, they're not finding anything else. So if they can find something like that that can absolutely be fixed, then at least that way you could pinpoint, hey, that's the reason you're so goofy right now. That's the reason your arm is so screwed up. And I would be okay with that, because I know I don't have any major damage in my neck. I've already had an x-ray of it. So whatever it is, maybe it'll be small, and that's what we're praying for, honestly.
Yeah, and we right now live about an hour and a half away from the area he's getting all of his tests and stuff done, because we haven't been able to get a reasonably priced RV park closer. And so we had to get up at 5, which means we skipped breakfast. Even though we didn't have to fast for the test, we just needed to get on the road. So now it's 9 a.m. and like we told y'all previously, we went through this whole 30 diet, and we've been gradually increasing the foods that we cut out. So today we've increased enough of those foods to where we get a treat, a Chick-fil-A breakfast.
Yay.
Coming to you live from the Eastern Time Zone, proof that we made it all the way from Arizona to the state of Florida. Well, you saw we were in Florida the last episode, but we've made it to the Tampa area.
And that's quite a drive. And by Tampa area, we mean 2 hours away.
AKA Chiefland.
Yeah, because here in Chiefland, it's, believe it or not, I don't know what all you have in your mind to talk about, but I just wanted to mention this park is nice. And it's 2 hours away. Is it 2 hours away from Tampa?
About 2 hours and 20 minutes, depending what part of Tampa you need to go to and traffic.
Well, that's true, yeah. But, I mean, for the price, I mean, we got the best deal going. For this time of year, snowbirds are still here. They're starting to roll out. I think we got the best deal going.
And even though we are 2 hours north of Tampa, I think we're 45 minutes from Gainesville, maybe an hour from Ocala. So we have a Walmart and stuff like that in Chiefland. It's not big enough to where you have the Home Depot and the Lowe's and the Hobby Lobby.
Ooh, Hobby Lobby.
This park has like over 400 spaces, and when we called to get in here at the end of January, they only had like 3. And that was the pull-through sites, which are $50 more per month because they're paved. But then they have the grass sites, and I think they might have had some more of those. But even this place, we've heard from some of the people that have stayed here, from years in the past that each year they say they come back, it's getting more and more full. So more people are finding out about this wonderful RV park that we have discovered.
And we're on a paved site. I mean, it's $50 more a month, but that's it. Because we like the paved sites, but the grass sites are bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice. We just met a couple last night who's going to turn into an annual. So they keep their rig here even when they're not here because they really have a great site. It's a grass site. It's huge and it's perfectly level.
But back to the Eastern time zone, I feel kind of like when we first got here that we were kind of disconnected from the rest of the world. Even though the majority of the population of the United States, I think, is in the Eastern time zone, we spent the majority of our RV life out west. So most of our friends and stuff are still out west because, like we said, we left a lot of them in Arizona and stuff. And now that it's the time change, now we're speaking to y'all on March 22nd. By the way, it's our 4-year Nomad-anniversary.
Yay! So we're recording this on the actual date.
Today. This date, 4 years ago, we were in Tampa, Florida at Lazy Days picking up this RV. We are still in the same RV that we bought 4 years ago.
And we're in the same state. We're not in the same city, but in the same state.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. 4 years ago, we had no idea what was going to happen other than we'd move into an RV, which other than looking at dealerships, we'd never really spent time in before. And now here we are.
So back to talking about the time zones. So it'll be like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, oh, I can text so and so because it's like 7 o'clock there. So, but then it's weird. We'll be in bed by like 11 our time, and then we wake up in the morning to text messages from people in the Mountain Time Zone and Pacific Time Zone because they probably still think we're awake when they send the text messages.
While they text late at night, but not for them.
And then another thing that is some getting used to is, we're used to being at those higher elevations and stuff, and
was nice.
We're at 33 feet elevation.
Is that it? 33 feet? Wow. You could practically jump from 33 feet into the ocean and it wouldn't hurt you.
So we don't have these trails we can go on where we get this elevation, so I think our main walking has been like the whole town's on fire, y'all.
It's a sleepy little town until you hit record, I promise.
That's the thing.
We're not the only YouTubers to ever say that, but whoever's having a problem, I hope they're okay.
But this park is so big that we get to walk around up and down the roads and stuff like that.
Paved.
And what is our elevation when we do that? We do it like about every day. It's like 11 feet.
Yeah, our elevation gain is not much, but it's paved and it's a nice kind of square. And so we have a good time just walking around. We do fast walking because it's good for the old ticker.
Yeah.
And other things.
Good cardio.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if they're leaving.
Sorry, there's a motorhome rolling by, so squirrel moment.
Yeah, we're seeing, people start to leave. We're talking to people around the park, and a lot of them seem to be leaving at the end of March, beginning of April, so.
You can't stand the heat. Get out of Florida.
But back to the park. When we first got here, which was January something. I don't remember the exact date anymore because we've been here a while now. Can you believe we've been here 2 months?
Now, there's two sides to that coin. One of them is we never wanted to be any place for this long. And we have never been any place for this long since we started.
No.
But you got to look at the positive. And the positive is this. It's affordable. This is the other side of the coin. It's affordable for Florida. It's a nice park. It's laid out well. All the good stuff we already talked about. Fabulous people here. And it's quiet for how big it is. So it's like, do you want to take a chance at maybe finding another park that's the same price range, but you haven't been there before and there might not be everything that this park has, or do you just want to swallow your pride and just park it for a couple of months? And that's what we've done. It's it works out well for us.
Honestly, when I've been somewhere a month, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go.
More than ready.
But I think we had been on the past year we haven't had a month stay anywhere
No.
until it was Montana, and that was like over a year ago.
And that was just because of the heat.
So honestly, it was a nice time to just have everything out, not have to worry about packing up, because we work a lot too. I think if we were retired and didn't have anything to do, then we definitely would have been like, we gotta get out of here. But
After 2 weeks.
We're so busy with now his medical appointments and then the jobs and stuff like that. I mean, we walk around the park and talk to people and they're like, I'm so bored. I've already read this book like 4 times, right? And I just want something to do. But I think we would definitely have wanted to move right after a month. But it's been kind of nice to have a place to, you know, just be like, okay, well, at least we know we have a place to live and we can just focus more on his medical appointments and stuff like that.
And we have other stuff going on behind the scenes. So, but don't worry, we haven't changed as people. We're still the people who love to travel. We don't want to settle down. We don't want to stay put. We don't want to just never move again. It's just, we're just in that kind of a season.
All right, y'all. This thing right here can make a grown man cry.
I didn't cry, but I wanted to.
Want to explain this?
Yeah, this lovely thing. It used to be a lovely thing here. I didn't even know we kept this. This from my theater seating. So it no longer reclines. Like the back won't recline at all. This is part of the pull cord, and the front won't come out. And I know some of you say, oh, I've replaced that before. Well, I'm sure you have. And I'm sure it can be done. But honestly, I just don't have the time to figure it out right now. I hope to get it fixed one day because I love my recliner. I really do. It's so comfortable. You can practically lay down and take a nap in it. So hopefully one day.
The thing is, you can tell where it broke off. So I really don't know if it can be fixed.
But it stopped working before it broke. Yeah,
we have the Thomas Paine, and we're each on our second Thomas Paine because Lippert,
in 4 years,
his was in warranty, and they replaced it only because his heating element went out, but the chair worked perfectly fine, and they're like, well, we designed it to where you can't change it out. So he got a new chair, and then my pull thing broke, and mine was out of warranty, but they still decided to send me a chair.
They're very good to
now
us.
They're way out of warranty, so I don't think they're going to give us a third chair, but they designed it to where it can't be fixed. So I'm thinking you might not be able to fix it.
I don't know. Yeah, they don't. It used to be where they had, and they even told me this, they used to have replaceable parts. And the last time I ever called them, they said, yeah, we don't design them that way anymore. It's a replaceable chair. So I'm not saying it can't be done, but I just don't have that kind of time.
The other thing, we know a lot of y'all take that Thomas Paine out anyways and replace it. I've seen people put like different couches and different stuff. The only thing is I've seen other people do that, but then the slide gets weighed down. So then when the slide comes in, it scratches or tears the floor and stuff. So we want to make sure that when we do replace it, that we get the right size limit, weight limit.
We might be shooting ourselves in the foot here, but maybe another RV designed one, but maybe just a different one.
Speaking back to RV parks, have y'all ever heard of Shower Row?
Oh, yeah. Somebody finally told us about that.
And we didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't have any idea.
How many of y'all know what that is? If you do, drop a comment below and let us know. But so now we'll tell you what it is. They said because they traveled in an RV where I think they had, it was a wet bath, right?
Yeah.
And so they
did not like the wet bath.
They like to stay at RV parks where that had shower houses so they could use the shower house. So they would always ask to be put on the row by the shower house, and they said that was referred to as shower row. So now when we drive by, we see, because we have a row that's pretty close to the shower house, and we'll see like a truck camper there or the vans and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. Because, those type of vehicles probably have the wet baths. I'm like, oh, okay. That's Shower Row.
And let me tell you, I haven't been in the showers here, but you talk about nice. There's no community anything. There's an outside building, and they have separate doors. Your shower's here, your shower's here, and your shower's here. You don't have to worry about a curtain or a door or nothing. It's just your suite. How nice is that? If you have to use a shower house, Or if you just want to use a shower house, they have good ones here.
I like the enclosed where you just go in the door,
Yeah.
lock it. You have your own, like he said.
Your own shower
I've
suite.
been in a shower house because it was our first year at RV, and it was at
Tobesofsky.
Lake Tobesofsky, and we did not have full hookups. Although they do have some spaces with full hookups, but the one we got did not have sewer. So we're like, well, we'll just go down and try the shower house. That was like, I didn't enjoy it because when the water came out, it was like a full force fire hydrant hose. And you're like, well, that's not bad. But when it went on, the air from it was so strong that it kept blowing the shower curtain. I'm like, I hope nobody comes in here because it just wasn't private, if you know what I mean.
Like I said, more of a community shower. Not here.
Speaking of medical appointments, one thing that I think we haven't, I mean, I've been to the doctor every year, but the doctor that I go to, like, they do the lab work there in the office. Well, the doctor Matthew went to, they're like, we don't do our lab work here. We send you to a place called Quest Diagnostics, which I think is in Florida, but they could be nationwide.
I think
honestly
they're
don't know.
nationwide. That's a big outfit.
And so we picked one, and when Matthew went in there was like no person at the desk because the last time
that was weird.
I've ever been to a Quest Diagnostics when we lived in Florida years ago, there was always a person. You hand them your little sheet or whatever. No human at all. Like, I don't even know if you could knock on the door and they would come out. It was just kind of intimidating a little bit, right? It's like you have to.
No.
I thought so.
And it's okay. That's okay. Everybody reacts differently. I kind of like I don't mean for this to sound bad, y'all, but I kind of enjoy the computer interaction instead of having to go to a desk. So I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but
I just wanted the person there in case there was an issue. That was my thing.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
But you went to this little terminal, to answer their questions. Who are you? What do you want? They had a scanner like at the grocery store that you would scan your ID. And then you would scan your, come on, brain, start working.
Your insurance card.
That thing, yeah. See, this is part of my brain right here. And then they'd call you back. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love human interaction. I'd much rather talk to somebody on the phone than talk to the computer. I don't like that. But when it came to this kind of thing, it's kind of like going to McDonald's. You know, you just do right on the pad, and it's so much easier, I think.
And so, yeah, I'm glad that it worked and everything. And then after we did it, there was a guy that was already sitting in there, and then he went up to it. So I'm like, were you sitting here the whole time and you needed to see somebody do it? That's what I'm saying. It's just, not everybody is used to that, especially people that aren't used. Like if my grandmother, she's not alive anymore, but if she had it, she'd be like.
She'd still be sitting
there. That's what I'm saying. I think some people want to know that there is a human there that's going to help them, right, if they can't figure it out.
And honestly, what happens is then the person who's going to do your blood work comes out and they open the door, and it's like you have an opportunity then to say, listen, I'm a bit confused. Can you send somebody out to help me? And I believe they probably would. I mean, honestly, they probably would. So
when we got done with that, we were going to just park the truck at this was this huge shopping center. We look for stuff like that. It's another reason that we picked this Quest Diagnostics because, we got a big truck.
It's dirty, but it ain't dented.
And so we were going to park on the other side of the parking lot, and we were going to walk to the Wendy's. So we went and parked the truck. And I was about to get out, and Matthew's like, why is there a car, like, parking really close to the truck? The whole parking lot was empty. And then I saw it said student driver. I said, ain't happening. Wendy's back. And Matthew's like, no, but they're over there. I'm like, no. They're going to circle around like a shark. They're not practicing.
They were parking, unparking. Sean said,
Matthew was okay. Can you believe he was okay with it? I'm like, no.
Well, they started practicing down on the other end. She said, no, we're leaving now. There was no discussion.
I'm like, no. I mean, I know they need to practice, but.
Not around me.
No. Why don't they practice with the other student driver cars? Which was good because we wound up finding a Chick-fil-A, which was really busy, but we parked. It's by is it a Wawa or a Wawa? I think it's a Wawa.
We haven't been in those.
We had to park at Walgreens, walk past the Wawa, and then go over to the Chick-fil-A because it was such a busy area. But we're going to have to try the Wawa or the Wawa.
Is it a gas station? Is it a food restaurant? What?
Is it kind of? It's not as big as Buc-ee's, but I hear people talking about it, and they have like these signs that say you can eat here. So I know you can get fuel
Half the
there,
people
but
watching have just said, "You haven't heard of a Wawa or Wah Wah or whatever." No, it's Wah Wah.
I've heard of it from other channels that have been to Florida because I think is it a Florida thing?
I don't know. I'm just saying half of our folks out there have probably heard of it. They're
Probably
rolling
like
on the floor.
Wah wah Wawa.
I don't know.
Anyways,
You tell us. We don't know. We're not making fun of it. We just don't know.
I am going to embarrass myself, but we have been in the desert so long, and when you're in the desert, the winds are really high, right? So you don't ever put your awnings out. Like if we ever did, it would be like first thing in the morning for like 30 minutes, and then here comes the winds or whatever. So apparently I don't remember how to put the awnings out. So we were here in our RV park here in Florida. The wind wasn't blowing at all. I'm like, let's put the awnings out and kind of shade that part of the RV. And all of a sudden, I push a button. I hear this horrible noise. I'm like, that doesn't sound like the awning. I was letting the slide in. Matthew's like, what are you doing? Stuff started moving on the floor.
Didn't we just say this is our 4-year anniversary? She has amnesia, folks. It's okay.
I'm like, oops, I pushed the one for the kitchen slide instead of the one for the awning. So now, I'm just saying, y'all, just be very...
It happens.
Is it vigilant?
Vigilant
when you look at those buttons. So I'm on and up to it. We've been 4 year. We hadn't hit the 4-year mark yet, so I was still in the 3-year mark. So that's
3
okay.
years or 3 days?
That was scary. My heart, like I thought it was gonna stop. Matthew's gonna have to do CPR. I mean, because that's terrifying. You don't want to screw something up.
Yeah, but it's fine. Honestly, it's fine.
Yeah, nothing broke. Because I stopped it. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. So it didn't go too far in, but I had something sitting in front of that slide and the box started to move.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was pushing the box too.
So Matthew finally got to wash the RV. It was lovely watching all that dirt just flow off the RV. I mean,
it really needed it.
It had been like more than a year or so.
Yeah, because honestly, when you're out west, there are places you can wash the RV. And I'm not talking about the Blue Beacon, whatever we've never been to. I'm talking about there are some RV parks that do let you for a fee, but it's kind of hard to find because it's out west. You know, they always have droughts and water shortage. It's the desert. That's what happens. So you come out to Florida, they're like, yeah, who cares? Wash anything.
So it's probably going to need another washing because you can still see the dirt around. And I went out there with a paper towel to try to clean some of it, but it's going to need to be washed again. And the truck didn't get washed yet because we washed it in Tucson. And it was funny because we had met...
They let us wash the truck there, not the rig.
Yeah. No, we took the truck to a car wash in Tucson.
That's what it was.
A graffiti car wash.
Yeah.
But we met a couple here, and they're like, well, and I had drove, and when I drive, I just pull in, so I park it differently than Matthew does. And they're like, oh, you must have washed the truck. I'm like, no, you're just looking at a different side of it. But the truck wasn't as dirty because we had just washed it in Tucson. But however, when you open the door to the truck and you look at the inside of the door, you can see the dirt. So there's still evidence of desert. So now we're going to have to figure out how to get that clean. Okay, y'all. So y'all know that we have been doing a Whole30 diet. We're finally off of it.
Finally, yes.
And doing the Whole30 diet, you're very limited to what you can eat. And so sometimes we knew we were going to be leaving the RV and we needed something that was Whole30 compliant that we could eat if we just need a snack or whatever. So we went and bought this box. This is the box. It's called That's It.
It's Whole30 compliant. There aren't many that are.
All the ingredients is apples and strawberries. And so Matthew looked in the box and said...
I'm going to die. Flat out.
Because this is how big it is. I mean, that's the wrapper, but when you close it up, see if y'all can see, there's my hand. That's how big it is.
Now, That's It, I thought referred to, that's it. Not too many ingredients. Apples and what'd you say?
Strawberries.
And that's it. But apparently That's It means, you get a fun candy bar size.
Here's the box. We thought it would go like a granola bar, that size or whatever, but I just died out laughing. Matthew's like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
This is like a 1 bite thing, maybe 2.
Maybe 2 if you're, yeah.
But that's it, folks. That's all it is.
They weren't terrible, but
No, I liked them.
they honestly should give you more.
Yeah, so that's the thing with the Whole30. So we have been here 2 months, and you'll probably be surprised where we get to go next.
Oh, you're never gonna guess. But I want to hear what your guess is. We're in Chiefland, Florida now.
Yes.
Where are we going? You don't even have to get the RV park, right? Just the city. Get the city. Go to Google Maps. It's absolutely free. And just pin the tail on the donkey. Tell us where we're going.